In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to understand and navigate through the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Legislation. Alberta is committed to ensuring a safe working environment for its citizens and through comprehensive occupational health and safety, so the OHS legislation, that goal is within reach. The OHS legislation provides rules for health and safety in Alberta's workplaces, which include safeguarding workers from hazardous conditions, implementing practices that support the well-being of staff, and regulating certain activities which could have harmful long-term effects. Adhering to the legislation aids in guaranteeing the safety of all workers at all times, and in this video, we're going to touch on the three separate parts of the legislation: the Act, the regulation, and the code. The Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Act is what keeps workers safe from hazards by providing a legal framework to ensure workplace safety. Through this framework, employers are required to identify workplace hazards and are held accountable for providing a safe work environment for the employees. The accountability provided by the OHS Act also ensures that employers are addressing issues as soon as they arise, allowing for quick action to prevent any further occurrences of incidents or injuries in the workplace. The Act further outlines the requirement for safety training, certifications, and compliance monitoring, which are especially important and help foster an environment of safety in these workplaces across the province. The regulation serves as the foundation for the OHS Act and Code, which outlines the legal standards that each workplace must comply with. It also provides the minister with the ability to create programs that help strengthen the workplace safety culture around the country. The Occupational Health and Safety Code in Alberta was designed to prevent workplace incidents, injuries, and illnesses. This code specifies the technical requirements that must be met by employers and employees to maintain an appropriate level of safety at work. Specifically, the OHS code outlines the expectations for workplace hazards, carrying out risk assessments, providing adequate training for all personnel, ensuring that individuals remain informed about hazardous materials and situations, and having protocols in place for controlling unexpected hazard occurrences, and much more. It is a crucial element of safety within any industry and helps ensure that workers have a safe work environment to complete their jobs, and it explains to workers and employers on how to meet the expectations of the Act. If you would like a full copy of the OHS code, go to the Alberta King's Printer website. The link is also in the description for your reference. You can then find the OHS code under the table of contents. You will be given a few options to either get a free version of the code, to purchase the binder of the Act, Regulation, and Code, or to purchase the handbook for the Act, Regulation, and the Code. For today's purposes, we're going to be using the free version. As you can see with this free version, the parts of the code are in blue. This gives us the ability to click on the part we want to read up on, and we're going to be automatically taken there. Now let's look at navigating through the Alberta OHS legislation using the online search tool. We added a link in the description for your reference. The OHS Act, Regulation, and Code are the official sources of Alberta's occupational health and safety laws. In order to search for information within these documents, you can use the search tool available on this page. The search tool is a great way to find information on the OHS Act, Regulation, and Code. Information on this resource is sourced from Alberta King's Printer, which is the official version, and King's Printer should be consulted for all purposes of applying the law. Here, we're going to be giving an example on using the search bar. You can type in virtually any search term, but for our example, let's type in hazard assessment. When you click on the first option, it's going to show the contents of the Alberta OHS code. Here we see Section 7, hazard assessment, Section 8, worker participation, Section 9, hazard elimination and control, and Section 10, emergency control of hazards, all of which touch on hazard assessments in the workplace. Now, if we go back to the search page, you can see that when we click on Section 45, it's going to take us to Part 5, Confined Spaces. This is a great example of how hazard assessments are touched on many parts of the legislation. Here, you can see that there's also an option to add certain sections to your quick reference. If there are certain points of the legislation that you refer to more frequently and need to find quickly, add the section to your quick reference. You will then be able to find your references on the right-hand side under My Quick References. Alberta's Occupational Health and Safety Act, Regulation, and Code are necessary for protecting workers within the province. These resources provide essential guidelines to employers and workers so everyone is aware of their rights and expectations for when it comes to health and safety in the workplace. It is a responsibility that should be taken seriously. Lives can depend on it. The 2023 OHS legislation website presents the OHS law in one accessible place, making implementation of these important rules easier for everyone involved. So whether you're an employer or an employee, you should make sure you know what your responsibilities are to ensure workplaces in Alberta remain safe for everybody.